Let's visit the 90s all over again. Put on those hammer pants. This is Dope Nostalgia.
Hey, it's me, Naomi, and welcome to episode 92. We're getting so close to 100 now. I hope we can get something really super special for the 100th episode. I know we can. It's only a matter of time. Anyways, I have a couple exciting things to tell you about on the show today. One is our very special guest is Kym Sims, who had a huge hit in the 90s with the song Too Blind to See It. Kym will be joining me for a walk down memory lane. And we have a special guest by the name of Joseph Ferguson, who is doing something really amazing right now for a kids' care charity for kids with cancer. He is participating in what's called the legendary Dad Bod contest. He's going to give us all the details of how we can go and support him and help raise all the money that we can possibly raise to help kids, as well vote for him in the contest. And you just might get something really cool, especially for those New Kids on the Block fans. So welcome Joseph Ferguson to the show. And I want to give a shout out to Tracy Bird for getting Joseph and I in contact so that he can tell you all about this amazing work he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
Joseph Ferguson,
Yes,
welcome
ma'am.
to Dope Nostalgia. My good friend Tracy here was telling me about this amazing competition you're a part of. And
Yeah.
I wanted you to tell our listeners all about it because we want to support you in your new endeavor. What is happening?
Okay, so I was actually kind of shocked by this whole thing. Anyways, I got this email one day from Men's Journal and this competition saying you've been nominated. And I have no idea how I got nominated or whatnot. And I just kind of, whatever, I'm not going to do this. So I was like, you know what? Why not? And actually, it was my son that talked me into it, my 11-year-old. I showed him, was like, Dad, you don't have abs. You can do this. So I was like, thanks, son. So hey, Tracy's met my son, so she knows this pretty right on with what Jax would say. But so I entered this competition, and anybody that knows me, I'm very competitive. So I sports background, rugby in college and rugby after that. And so I'm highly competitive. And so once I saw like my stuff on there and I saw I was getting votes, I was like, I'm not stopping. I got to do this. So I contacted as many people as I could. I was like, hey, I need votes. And Tracy, of course, Tracy talked to her about all of it, and she helped me out. And then Blockhead started doing it. But yeah, it's a really cool cause. It's for the B+ Foundation. And what it does is this organization helps with kids who have cancer. They help the families out during the time when they're having cancer. And they also cancer research for pediatrics. And so it really touches my heart near and dear because I've been an educator since 2004, sorry. I've been an educator, a teacher and a principal for so many years. And during all those years, I've had multiple kids with cancer and kids that I love them to death. And so when they get that, it hits me like a regular, I wouldn't say like a real parent, because there's a bond between a father and a son and mother and, so forth, their children. But just the impact that it had on me, and actually seeing this B+ foundation, take place and what they've done, I was like, why not? Even if I don't win, just to be able to try to get votes and raise money for this is, I want to be able to give back what I've seen them do for my kids and their families. And so, that's why I kind of made it a mission, not just because I'm competitive, but because I truly believe in this, this organization and what they're doing and to help fight cancer for kids and do research. And so that's why I vowed that whenever, let's just say hypothetically, we make it all the way to the end and we win or, whatnot, then a large majority of the money that I would get is going right back to the foundation, just because I truly believe in it. But I'll discuss what the rest of the money is going to go toward here in a minute. Tracy and I kind of worked up some stuff, but there's some really, it's amazing. It really is. and I don't know like what kind of more questions you're going to ask me. So I don't know if I need to keep talking. You can ask me what. Like I get the ramble. It's the teacher side of me.
I like that. I like that. It's easier. It's you just keep telling me the story and I'm happy. I was going to ask you how people can contribute financially to the cause. Now, first of all, we know we're going to encourage everyone to go vote, but what else can they do to get involved?
Yeah, so you can just, if you want to, go to the organization's page itself. If you don't want to vote for me, that's fine. Just go to the organization's page itself and just donate money. But also what you can do is you can go to my link and you've probably seen it if you are a follower of New Kids pages, then you've probably seen it on there, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You'll see my link on there. It's the legendary Dad Bod, and my name is Joseph Ferguson. And so and it's a long link, so me trying to say that right now would not do its justice or purpose. But no, you just click on there and you'll be able to do your free daily vote, which and then once you do your vote, it'll say, okay, well, do you want to keep contributing? And you can do a dollar amount, and every dollar amount you put in there is a vote. It counts as a vote. So I mean, if you're going to donate anyways, might as well pick a person. It doesn't have to be me, but pick somebody and just donate toward this organization. I think it's a great organization.
We're voting for you, Joseph. We've got you. We're good.
That's on my bag. That's what I'm really realizing a lot. It's fantastic. I'm loving this.
We're going to make sure on our social media too that we post the link directly to where people can go vote. So that'll help a bit,
Oh, absolutely.
So now that you're involved in this contest, what do you hope comes out of it at the end? Like, what is the prize? What is going on with it when it's all said and done?
So I'll get to the prize here in a minute, but it's kind of weird having to maintain this whole dad bod thing. And I just want to kind of like clarify some things. Some people will say, well, and you don't have a dad bod. So let me explain. There's a difference between like somebody who's completely jacked and like has no body fat and somebody who has a complete beer belly, right? I'm kind of like the in between, because I maybe have one or two abs and, man boobs, handles, all that kind of stuff. So I think that still kind of qualifies myself as a dad bod, right? And so that's why I just wanted to say that, because a lot of people may be like, well, no, that's not what dad bod is. But I take great pride in eating a lot of food with my son. We just made a bunch of cookies, and so and pizza had to maintain the dad bod, right? I mean that's our weekend diet, and slushies. We have to do slushies as well. Okay, so back to your question about the actual prize is I've been completely blessed my whole life with the New Kids, and I sincerely mean that, because it's made me completely happy. Every time I hear the music, every time I've seen them, my son and I, we jam out to New Kids every time we go to a football game, every time we go to practice, wrestling practice, or wrestling at home, or we need a pump up music. He always picks Block Party Remix, and I'm trying to think of the other one, but those are the two main ones that we always listen to for the pump up, right? And he always does the rap at the beginning. He learned Donnie's rap, so he does that. It's pretty awesome. But anyways, I want to be able to give back to what not just the New Kids, but what the New Kids fans are doing to help me, because they've really stepped up and they've really helped me to keep this first place vote. Like I'm round 2 tomorrow. It ends, and then immediately starts round 3, and then I think there's 4 more rounds after this, right? And it's going to go all the way into I think the middle of November. So after this, I think it's like top 10. After this is top 5, and then quarterfinals, all that stuff. So if I make it all the way to the end, I get the money, then I'm going to, depending on availability, I'm going to purchase VIP tickets for some fans. And depending on how much left, some extra tickets as well. And it's going to be based off of, people voting for me. So people who vote, how much they vote, the more they vote, and even if they donate money, that's going to be more of a vote that they get in the pot. And it's going to be random draw. And it would be what my best hope is to be able to, because I don't want to take away from the organization a whole lot. But I do want to be able to give back, contribute back to the fans that are really helping me out here. But I'm looking to try to do 2 sets of VIP tickets upon, if they're available, at the venue of their choice.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes. So the 5-star, that's what I'm looking at trying to do. And I think that's the least I can do, especially with us, raising the money that we are for this organization. I mean, honestly, it's the least I can do. And it would make, it made me completely proud to be able to do that and then donate the rest of the money to the organization.
It's a stellar thing you're doing, and I support you 100%. So I'll make sure that we vote daily, and we'll get the word out.
And make sure you save a screenshot of it and send it on to us. We can give our email or something so that we can track that.
I'm actually going to create probably a forms, a Google Forms, to where they can go and upload that stuff and put their name. And each time they do that, it'll count as a vote. And I will have, and just as long as they keep a snapshot of what they did and upload that snapshot, because it'll let you do that, then I will make sure, because I want to be fair with this, right? I can't guarantee that if you vote for me 1,000 times that you're going to be the one getting it. It's going to be a random draw. And I think that's just the best way to do it. But your chances obviously increase the more you vote for me and if you contribute money and so forth.
So when you go to the site, make sure you take a screenshot and then they can send it in to you or onto the Google Doc.
Yes, I will post probably starting with the next round, which I'm assuming I'll make it since I'm first right now, unless anything traumatic happens here.
Yeah, you're doing great.
If something traumatic happens, then we just won't air this.
And I'm really shocked. And this is across the nation. This is what gets me too. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, the only way that this would get me to not go to a concert for just at least one concert is if Donnie says, you know what, I'm gonna enter this, and he takes the dad bod contest away from me. So I'll Donnie or or Joe, doesn't step in and try to take it away from me. But I think I'm safe because they have all abs and complete chest and everything. So I think I'm safe from them having a dad bod. So I'm good. But yeah, hopefully next round, starting tomorrow, Friday, I will get with my link, start posting the Google Forms where they can go in and upload everything and put their name and so forth, so I can start putting it in for the drawing. Now, if I don't win, I'm sorry. I'm gonna do my best to win. I'm gonna do this not just for myself and my family and the B Plus Foundation, but also for my fellow blockheads.
We're extremely grateful and love the fact that you're so heavily invested in doing this. You've taken this opportunity and you're running with it. So, Joseph, you're killing it. Thank you so much for being on our show.
Hey, it's been an honor that you had me on here. I can't thank you enough. And thank you for everybody that's listening to this as well. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. And thanks, Tracy, for introducing us to Joseph.
Yeah, thank you, Tracy. Woo!
Yes, you're welcome.
Yes.
Happy to do it.
Sweet. All right, friends, vote today. Go help out Joseph in his mission here. Just go to his Twitter page at BURUGBY71. You can see the links there to vote in the competition as well. If you don't use Twitter, you can find all the links to vote on the Dope Nostalgia social media. So if you're not already subscribed to our Twitter, our Instagram, our Facebook, do it now and you will find the links to help support Joseph in his cause.
Wikipedia moments.
Kym Sims is an American singer whose biggest success came outside her home market, most notably the Scandinavian countries and the United Kingdom. Sims began her career as an advertising jingle singer before breaking through into the dance music market. Sims returned to the Billboard dance charts, reaching number 6 with Turn It Up in 2017. Working with record producer Steve Silk Hurley, Sims' dance anthem Too Blind to See It enjoyed particular success in the United Kingdom, where it spent 12 weeks on the UK singles chart in 91 to 92, peaking at number 5. Her 92 hit single Take My Advice was also a hit in the UK, and it was also a club hit. The same year, she had a more modest hit with A Little Bit More. Her album Too Blind to See It peaked at number 39 on the UK albums chart. In 1995, she released I Must Be Free. In 96, she released We Gotta Love, which was her last single to be released on CD or vinyl. In 1998, she provided the lead vocals for Keep On Groovin' by One Vision under the alias Shima. In 2000, she released another single, Just Can't Get Enough. In 2013, Sims worked with producer Maurice Joshua on an upcoming CD and planned tour dates. She released a single titled Good Morning on March 21st, 2014, and then released One of Those Nights. On May 13th, 2014, she released Won't Do That with Unique 2 Rhythm. She's a creative force, and she keeps making new music for you to groove to. And we're happy she took the time to be here on Dope Nostalgia. Thank you so much, Kym. Check out our interview now. This is Kym Sims. Well, Kym, welcome to my show. This is called Dope Nostalgia, and we talk a lot about the careers of people who took off in the 90s and what they're doing now. So
okay.
I'm excited to touch on some cool events that you went through in the 90s. What were the early days of your journey in music looking like?
Well, before before recording and, putting out an album, I actually used to be a jingle singer. So I sang jingles. A gentleman by the name of Paul Wilson, he took me under his wings and asked me if I wanted to sing jingles. I'm like, yeah, because money's good. Mm-hmm. So I started doing jingles first, and I did those up until like 91, 92. But in the meantime, Steve Hurley and myself and some others were at a party. Now, I knew Steve through the neighborhood because we didn't grow up far apart from each other. So he knew that I sang jingles, and his wife was having a party for a friend, and she asked me if I wouldn't mind singing something. So I said, sure, I'll sing Inseparable, because it was easy, and it was like one of my favorite songs. Sang it. Steve loved my voice, and he said, you ought to come in and see if we can, come up with something. So I'm like, okay, and went into the studio, and we literally laid Two Blind down within a couple of hours, and the one that you guys hear is actually that was kind of like a demo, but they just did some remixing on it and stuff, sped my vocals up so I sounded like the Chipmunks, but
a little higher than normal, was it?
Yeah, see, but so that's how the recording journey began.
That's incredible.
The rest is history. Yeah, it was pretty good. I can't lie.
Now, how did you take the angle to approach success in the European market first? Because I'm in Canada, and I heard it quite a bit here on the radio.
Did you? Oh, wonderful. Well, here's the thing. We were hoping that we'd get a U.S. market. Did you go some? Okay. But it didn't, it didn't take over there. So they released it in the UK. It bubbled under, kind of underground. So in the meantime, I was recording other songs as well. And it just took off overseas. It was like all the love, either from overseas, or I should say from overseas and here as well. I got a great LGBTQIA following. Mm-hmm. And then, here and in Europe. But from the moment Two Blind turned 30 years old, August 6th, this August 6th.
Wow, incredible.
So it's been 30 years since since the song was released, and probably within a couple of weeks, I was starting to tour, and first place I came was to the UK. And so and the rest is history. And up to this day, I'm still getting a gig here and there. So it's really been nice. I can't lie.
Did you get to do a lot of traveling in those days? And when did you actually have the chance to see the culture and the cities and everything?
You know what, with London, because I had some friends there, I was able to sort of see around. Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Bahrain. I got to see those areas because I was there
Wow.
longer. Yeah, I know it was great. Japan, same thing. I was able to, but there, Amsterdam, I was able to. But there were so many gigs that I did that I wasn't able to, go through the historical part. Scotland, a friend of mine by the name of Dava Mack, when I was in Scotland 2 years ago, he picked my husband and I up and he gave us a short little tour of the area, Glasgow. So it was really nice. Yeah, yeah. And I've been so many places. That's the blessing because I don't like to fly. And you always want your success to be at home. You want you want your homegrowns to love you too.
Of
But
course.
it didn't work out that way. And I'm grateful for Canada. I'm grateful for, all of England, all of Scotland, Germany, Amsterdam, everywhere. Yeah. So I'm grateful. Yeah.
Did you get to come up to Canada?
I came to Canada for one gig and I'm trying to remember, and I want to say it was like in 93, 94. It was a club that had I want to say it was standing room only, standing room. I believe the stage, like the walkway, was like right in the center. There were people on either side and above me. And I kind of was high, but it was in, I'll tell you where it was. It was in, I want to say Montreal.
Oh, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I
in
think
French
it was
Canada.
Montreal. Yes.
Yeah.
And it was a blast. I mean, honestly, Naomi, I've been shown love everywhere I've gone, and as I mature, I'm seasoned now. I said, maybe I'll retire but people are still ringing the phone. So I'm like, I'm going to just hang on in there till I can't anymore,
You got to keep doing what you love. You
do. And it brings me joy. And this whole year and a half with COVID, it just stopped everything and everybody. You already know that. And the other side of it is, at first I was like, okay, they lift the ban, but will I still be safe? You know what I'm saying? So it's been one of those, but I have a gig in the UK on the 23rd in Manchester. On the 24th is when I get to the UK. So I'll be in Manchester and then on Saturday, Wolverhampton. So I think it's maybe an hour and a half from Manchester. Then back to Manchester, I've got two clubs, one gay club and just a DJ club. I can't think of the name of it. Forgive me. But yeah, so that's what's been happening.
I'm so glad you're playing. That's incredible.
Thank you. Thank you. I am too, honey. A bitch be broke sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
I know the feeling. Oh yeah.
I'm just saying. But what's funny? I say that years ago, it was for me so I could pay my rent, so I could do the things that I needed to do. I had two small children, had gone through a divorce. So it was a lot of stuff going on. But Too Blind to See It, took me to the masses. And so when I sing now, I'm remarried and my husband supports me. But when I sing now, it's not so much for the money. And I would almost say it's not for the money. It brings me joy, and I think I got a little depressed being around the house and not being able to get out there and talk to folks. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's been great. And I'm excited about going over to the UK.
Don't wait for me, 'cause I won't be there. but you did me wrong. So I'm moving on. Too late to see what you were doing.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Guess what, friends? I have a new voicemail number just for you. Give us a call at Dope Nostalgia. Our number is 780-851-8785. Leave us a message. Pick up the phone just like you used to in the old days. Remember, before text messaging? Yeah, we used to actually call each other. If you just want to be heard and be on the podcast, give us a call. Once again, our Dope Nostalgia hotline, 780-851-8785. Pick up the phone. Remember, this number is Canadian, so long-distance charges may apply.
Tonight, from wherever in the world you are listening, give a big hand for your host. Here's Ainsley.
Hello, I'm Ainsley Beckley-May from Price Tag Pod, and I'm so excited to be a part of the Dope Nostalgia podcast. Price Tag Pod is a new cheesy game show podcast due to release on April 2nd. Price Tag Pod attempts to put a price tag on your dignity, and to do this, the show breaks down into 3 easy parts. First, we ask our guests 11 uniquely ridiculous questions.
£376. You have edible glitter in all of your drinks for life.
No, who would agree to that? No, never.
$500, Tim.
Oh, $500.
For the whole of next year, you have to have a mullet and a mustache.
Ooh.
$100. Would you drink from your best friend's toilet bowl?
Oh.
Next, we negotiate a price.
£110.
I think it's definitely worth more. How much you got, pal?
Give me a number. Let's do 2 hours of your pay then. Let's do $22.
$22.01. I'll take $22.01.
All right, we'll do $22.01. You just want a weird number, right?
Then at the end of the show, we calculate the total.
$370,784.95. You were worth $395,717.
Nice. That's like almost a 2-bedroom condo where I live.
And that's it. We have fun, the guests have fun, and we see how cheap or expensive people's self-worth really is. To follow the show, just type Price Tag Pod into your friendly neighborhood Google engine, and we'll show up somewhere. Have a great week, and we'll see you on the show.
Mr. Bucket!
That's right, I'm Mr. Bucket. I'm Mr. Bucket. Toss your balls in my top, I'm Mr. Bucket. Out of my mouth I will pop, I'm Mr. Bucket. We're all gonna run, I'm Mr. Bucket.
The game's Mr. Bucket. The first to get their balls into Mr. Bucket wins, but look out, because the balls will pop out of his mouth.
I'm Mr. Bucket. The balls pop out of my mouth, I'm Mr. Bucket. A ball is what I'm about, I'm Mr. Bucket. We're all gonna run, I'm Mr. Bucket.
Mr. Bucket from Milton Bradley.
What was one of your most memorable performances in the 90s?
Okay, so I fly to Japan, and I think it's called Roppongi or Roppongi, Japan. All right, so nobody spoke English, and so I had a translator with me and everything. But when it came time for my show, I get up on the stage. I want to say I sang "Take My Advice" and "Too Blind." At one point, all I had to do was "Too Blind." And let me tell you, I know they didn't speak English, but girl, they knew every word. And it was a phenomenal club, huge. That was like a memorable moment because I couldn't believe they were like literally mouthing. But then you walk up to them and they're looking at you like you crazy, So it was. I'm talking. And then the other thing, and it's memorable because I usually like to go off stage and kind of mess with the folks a little bit. I get off stage and they parted like the Red Sea. And it was almost like I don't even want to call it a respect thing, but they didn't get close, but they kept singing the song. So
I believe it's a huge, respect is a huge part of the culture. And I absolutely adore Japanese people and how they enjoy and take in music,
life and party. Oh my God. I feel the same way. I'd never ever planned on going anywhere. So going to Japan was like, shoot. And like you said, they do, sorry for that light going on and off. For some reason it won't stay on. But they appreciate, they appreciate house music, they appreciate 90s music. And yeah, that's probably the most memorable. And I can give you one more that's just as memorable. UK. I went to the UK and I performed at a big gay club called The Fridge. It was a massive place. So I'm thinking, I'll never fill this place up, but as my car brought me up, my name was on the headlights, and I mean, what do you call it? The banner, and it was all lit up. I'm like, oh, and then I couldn't believe it, and then the till, it was around the block. And I'm thinking, what? I get inside. I had never, ever been in a gay club, first and foremost. Secondly, I had never seen the most fabulous drag queens. I mean, it was just beyond crazy. And the way they accepted me and treated me, I'll never forget that. It was one of the best gigs I ever did. And when I got off stage, I was able to go upstairs and kind of freshen up. And people were literally standing in line to do like a meet and greet and take a picture. So that was really big for me. Yeah. I love that.
What a great feeling.
It was. I did Club MTV with Downtown Julie Brown. Back, classic. I think it was about 93 or 94. So my people in the US got to see that. I've had so many wonderful moments, but those three really stick out.
Who were your musical influences growing up?
So I'm a little more seasoned than a lot of people. So I will say the Supremes, Gladys Knight, Melba Moore, Aretha Franklin. I loved the big gutsy voices. I'm not a gutsy singer. I'm more, because I did jingles, I pronounced my words because you had to do that so much, over there. So for me, I concentrate on what I'm saying, but I also concentrate. And so I think I'm a straightforward singer, but I have little moves that I can make, that help out from the excitement side. But I just think that being able to reach people from the standpoint, you never knew you'd go anywhere, or I do anything like this. And so just to have people recognize it is just amazing. It really is.
I love that.
Thank you.
Tell me about Turn It Up in 2017.
Well, let me tell you about Turn It Up. First, I got to talk about my best friend, Thomas Arambula, who he and I've been friends for over 25 years, and he's been holding out on me. He writes music. So I was like, what the hell are you going to tell me? Anyway, he gave me a song called Deep in the City first. And it was an homage to all of the the DJs, Chicago, Frankie Knuckles, E Smooth, Jesse Saunders, Farley, Jack Master. It gave, homage to that. And then Turn It Up was a couple of years later. He says, Kym, you got to do this song. And when I heard it, it was bouncy enough, and it gives you that club vibe. I don't know how many remixes are on it, but Thomas is the reason that song came out, and he's actually the reason for me continuing to sing. So I just love him to death. I have to always shout my boy out. So yeah, that's how Turn It Up turned it up.
It's trying to come together, 'cause we're here.
And then did that lead into doing the EP, The Dance Floor, a couple years later?
Well, it's sort of, probably so, because, well, I had met these two wonderful gentlemen, Scott Featherstone, who actually, when I go to the UK, I stay with his family. And he, took me into the studio with Des Ford, who's a friend of his. Steve Teasdale is he's my agent over in the UK. Long story short, I heard these tracks, and we wrote Dance Floor together, and then also Love's Got a Hold on Me. I believe we're gonna release Dance Floor again on EP, not EP, digital. And we're gonna also release oh god, I just said it, Love's Got a Hold on Me. So those two songs are, what we're working on. I have a concert, like I said, on the 24th, 25th. And so we'll be doing it there. We're going to try to do a really good live. And I wouldn't mind putting out a live, concert EP as well. So that would be kind of cool. So we're looking to do that as well. Yep.
You're a very strong songwriter. Like, how did you go about getting a song prepared for CeCe Peniston, the Keep On Walking song?
Oh, okay. So that was prepared for Kym Sims. And finally was killing it on the charts. I was coming up. CeCe wanted to, I guess, we Got a Love Thing. I think that was her next song. Now, I had recorded all these songs for my album, and she apparently loved Keep On Walking, and I had no clue. And the first time I heard it was when it was on the radio. So the songwriting part of it had a lot to do with the bad relationship that I was in, which was my first marriage. But I will say this, I loved my version, and I was a little, I think, more hurt than angry, because the production company, they did it behind my back.
Oh no!
So that was supposed to be my follow-up to Take My Advice, but CeCe, she put her feet all up in that song, honey. I mean, she did her damn thing, and I tell everybody, she stomps the stages all over the world singing it, and I go to the mailbox and get the residual check. So it's been working out just fine.
There is a silver lining to the situation.
There is a silver lining, but sometimes the music industry, you got to go where the money resides. You know what I'm saying? And I think at that point, she was already signed to the label. I believe it was A&M, if I'm not mistaken. And then I got signed to ATCO, Atlantic Records, and then East West for the UK. So it all worked out,
Yes, I'm glad it worked out in a positive way.
Me too. Oh yeah. Because I wasn't if you would call me 5 years ago, I'd probably still be bitching about it. But now, like I said, everything happens for a reason. Songs belong to certain people, and it belonged to her. She sang her heart out on it. So, I gave up that feeling of anger not from her, but from the people I was dealing with at the time. But now it's all good. Yeah.
Are you a person who collects memorabilia, vinyl, cassettes, or like some of the cool things that you might have collected about your own career?
So when I got the first CD, I didn't even listen to it. Do you know what I mean? I was like, oh no. So I still have one that's just wrapped up perfectly with it's the double thingy. So I do have that. I have a ton of vinyl, but it's not my stuff. Let's see. So collecting probably that one CD. And then of course I've got my platinum and my gold plaques on the wall. And I've got my songwriting, a plaque for that. And then all the charts, Mix Mag, Billboard, um, Top 40, all of those are on one plaque. And, it shows where I went number one on those. So that's sort of my memorabilia, if you will. But I love collecting elephants, little
Oh,
porcelain.
really?
So yeah, I do. I love them. And so I've got, when I've been around the world, I've got all these elephants that I collected. And I don't necessarily, I put them out, but the majority of them are just saved, but I just loved them. So I wanted to, constantly get them from everywhere I could. So
That's sweet. How many do you think you have?
um, over 100,
Nice.
for sure. Yeah. Cause I have some tiny ones and, a few big ones, but I would definitely see no less than 100.
That is sweet.
Yeah.
When you think back to the fashion of the 90s and the clothes you wore for like photo shoots and videos,
Mhm.
things like that, do you
Right.
have anything that you've ever said, I can't believe I wore that?
Oh, girl. You got all day? No. You know, um, not that I can recall.
Mm.
I did have someone styling me. I don't know necessarily. I love hats, so I don't know necessarily if I would have had someone style me, um, because I had such a different feeling as to what I wanted to, wear. But
Mm.
the hats and like the thigh high boots and anything sparkly and funky, I like,
Mm.
So I would say, and I've actually saved some things, which, it's kind of hard to do when it comes to clothes situation. But I do have the two blazers I wore in Take My Advice and Too Blind to See It. And then I have the leather bomber jacket that I sang a little bit more. So I do
Mm.
have some, I do have a few things that I kept.
I'm glad you kept them. And like
Me too.
that fashion has either never really gone away or it's come back. Like the
Come
90s
back.
is so hot right now.
Yes, it is. And I'm so happy, child, because it gives me an opportunity to get back out there. I can wear the stuff that's 90-ish, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna give my hats up because there's some bad hair days, and that's what the hats, that's what that came from. It wasn't like I was trying to make that my, um what's it, signature. It
Mhm.
was just that doing all the traveling and trying to keep the hair together. I was like, forget that. I'm gonna get me some hats, honey. And so now it's like a trademark of mine. I wear them all the time. So, yep.
Now, when the internet came out in like the early to mid 90s, did you use it very much yet or use it at all to promote your career, like your own website and
I,
stuff?
I didn't. I was so afraid of the internet. And at that time, I had the label behind me. I had PR and all of that stuff. So I didn't necessarily have to do it. If I could turn back the hands of time, I would have been more involved in everything. So yeah, computers scared the hell out of me. And I'll be honest, I didn't really start using a computer till like probably 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And then, honey, I just need pencil and paper. That's all I need. And then, and then, with all of the social media stuff, it's the best thing to do because that's how the music industry is moving now. People are going out on live, doing their thing, and have fans on Facebook and that kind of thing. So that probably came to fruition for me maybe about 2005 and up to now.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I remember a quote from Prince, and I think it was probably about 10, maybe 10 years
Oh my
ago. He
God.
said 15 years ago, where he said
Yeah.
that the internet was a fad. he thought
Well,
it would go
guess
away.
what? Yeah. Rest in peace, Prince.
Mhm.
Icon. I put he and Michael together, but they're totally different vibes, but icons for our time. I think I liked the fact that Prince thought out of the box, and he he owned his own publishing, he owned his own, catalog. So
Yes.
he put out an EP or an album without any help from a label. So to me, he was like a groundbreaker. And I don't think he necessarily, before he passed away, I don't think he was that into the internet then.
No.
If I can remember, you never really saw him. I don't know if he had a fan page. I'm gonna have to look. But yeah, so he took his time, and I'm behind him because I would have done the same thing. But you realize as you walk through this journey, you can't get around it. You just can't. So it's important for artists.
I mean, a lot of artists run their own social media, like their Twitter, their Instagram, whatever. But you don't have to, because you can always have someone do that for you if it's something you don't.
And I've got people that have offered to do it for me, and so I can get bigger numbers and that kind of thing. So that's something that I plan on doing, leading into the first of the year. But now I just have my little I have Instagram and I have Facebook and I have Kym Sims fans and just regular Kym Sims. But you can have 5,000 people as friends. You don't know who the hell they are. They just happen upon you, So I probably got 14 good friends on there. But anyway, my niece was actually helping me, just try to do things, because I think the more people see you, the more they're willing to, come your way.
And they like the idea of being able to engage with the artist.
Right.
Directly.
And I love that. I don't know if you ever watch any of my lives, but in my first life, I was a comedian. And so it's like when I can't help but go on Facebook and I have calamities that happen to me almost every day. So I just go on Facebook and talk to my fans. I call them friends because I look at them as friends and fans, But yeah, they like when I come out live and talk to them, and I think that's important. It humanizes you, and it also makes them, look at you differently. That you take the time to talk to them. So I enjoy that.
Yeah, it's a stronger bond.
It is. It really is. And I think if I was to have had it when the Jacksons and, all the different, I probably would have been one of the stalking fans that, I can sing, but I love you guys. I could see myself being that person. So it's a shame, but true.
But that's how we are when we're like preteens and teenagers too,
Yes, that's true. That's true. Yeah. So I think in all, I just enjoyed the 90s for those reasons. And Tina Marie, soulful singer. And, I would listen to those folks, but a lot of people liken my voice, especially in the early days, to Diana Ross because of the I guess brightness of it, and she articulates every word, and also our tone is similar. So yeah, I think if I had to compare myself to somebody, I would say her, only because I feel like I sound more like her. You know what I mean?
I can hear that.
Yeah. Especially in that first album. I mean, there's some songs that they didn't speed up, and you can listen to it and be like, yeah, I could see that. You know what I mean? So she's one of my idols too. So
I was gonna say that leads into my question that I was gonna go next with was who have you gotten to meet throughout your career that was a big influence on you, or maybe even made you starstruck?
Okay, well, God, let's see. Tony Terry, I guess he sang a song called "When I'm With You." I was like on a stage with him, and I just thought, "Oh my God, that's Tony Terry." crisscross when they were little ones. I mean,
Yeah.
let's see. Natalie Cole.
Wow.
Let's see who else. And this is not music, but Muhammad Ali. I was actually had dinner with him. He was the sweetest man, a big flirt, but super sweet. And
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of any more artists that made me starstruck. I would say Natalie Cole probably was the one.
Mm.
Now I look at so many artists that I've done. Well, Evelyn Champagne King, that's another one. She
Mm.
and I did get gigged early on together. And when I realized it was who she was, I was like, oh, that's Evelyn Champagne King. And she's ill. She's in the hospital. She
Oh.
has COVID. And she
Oh.
came off tour. She had 3 shots, came off tour, and they put her right in the hospital. So gotta send some prayers up for her.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I would say those are the ones that come to mind first. And I have some male, like Tony Terry. I have some male, like Boys to Men. I opened for them, and I was like, what? Um,
Mm.
um, I opened for somebody else, and I was in awe. But those are the few that I can come up with.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now your hometown is Chicago, correct?
Hometown is Chicago. I live in Atlanta now,
Mhm.
but home is Chicago, always and forever. Yeah, that's home.
When I was reading your Wikipedia and I noticed your birth date, my birthday is the day before yours. So you're a Christmas
What?
baby.
Yes. Yes. Well, I'm the 28th of December, and
Yep.
yours is the
27th.
20th. Girl, you a Capricorn. Power
That's
to the
right.
people. Yes.
Now, did you get
Yes.
stuck in that whole combined birthday Christmas presents, or people weren't around for your birthday because they were doing Christmas things?
Christmas stuff. To be honest with you, my parents always made a difference. So
Mm,
they always, did the Christmas and the birthday was separate. And
nice.
yeah, and if being when I was younger, I'd always have a little birthday party or whatever. Even to this day, my husband, he, will make sure that I get 2 gifts. He can't not do that because I'll leave his ass. So, I got
I love it.
but yeah, they always made a difference. Always. Yeah.
I'm happy I can say the same. My family was wonderful about keeping them separate.
Good. That's right. And you feel like that's the way it should be. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because you were born that day and Christmas was that other day. And so, that's 2
It's
separate things.
not the same holiday.
It's no, it's not. So
Nope.
yeah, my sister Capricorn, I'll always remember that. That's
There
awesome.
you go. Now, from your
Yeah.
hometown to Chicago, how often do you get to go back there?
Well, when I first moved here, I live in Atlanta. I've been here for 20 years, but I live in a suburb called Roswell.
Mm.
And when I first moved here, I like to drive. So I was on the road 3 times a year, just going. Now, a lot of my parents have passed
Mm.
away. I have had an aunt that just recently passed away. Now my brother and sister are there, and my niece, my brother and sister-in-law's daughter, she's actually living with me here because she got a really good job. So, so she goes home to Chicago and she brings me back all my little favorite things that I love to eat.
Mhm.
And yeah, but I miss Chicago from the standpoint, it's home and I
Yeah.
knew where I was going. Here, it's a little different to me from the standpoint that as I said, I live in the burbs, and there are very few people that I've met that are literally from here. They've
Mhm.
been coming from different areas of the U.S. So, but yeah, I'm getting used to it now. It keeps me away. My son lives in California, and I'm going to have my 5th grandchild with him. He's his new,
Wow.
yeah, he's got three boys, a little girl that's the youngest, and then the next baby is due in January. But then my daughter lives in Nashville, so it takes me 3 hours to drive there. So I hit the road a lot. She's got a boy and a girl. So I've got 7 grandkids so far and one on the way.
Congratulations. Must be so
Thank
fun.
you. Thank you. You know what? At first, I wasn't happy about it because I'm like, I'm a diva. I wear high heels. I wear stilettos. I am not trying to call some baby, come here, little boy. That's no. But the first one, I was hooked.
Mhm.
It's something about being a mom. You know, you're so engaged and you're trying to raise your child. And so I think the mistakes you make are the not knowing mistakes. You knew no better. But now having grandchildren, they go home to to the parents, but I look at all of them and they do so many things that remind me of my kids when they were little. So, it's a different kind of love. It really
Yeah.
is. It's wonderful. And I can't lie. At one point I said I wasn't too happy about it, but I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Thank you.
No, I was going to say, I've only been to Chicago once in my life. I went there for a
Right.
concert at the House of Blues, and I just
Oh
absolutely fell in love.
yeah.
I fell in love with the city and the
It's
food.
yes.
And where would you tell someone to visit who is a tourist there? And say
Well,
they had a day to
the
check
house
out stuff.
right. The House of Blues is a great place. And there was a hotel that was next to it. And after the music sort of died down for me, it was a Lowe's hotel and it was called the House of Blues Hotel, if you will. And I became a concierge. So I got to um go to the finest restaurants, see the city. Like I lived there all my life, but never went to different areas. So, I mean, if you want a good steak, you got to go to, Gene and Giorgetti's is better to me, but they've got, what's it called? Oh, God, it just slipped my mind. I can't think of it. There's a Thai restaurant called Thai, Dao, Dao. Wonderful spot. Yeah. Mexican food is to me, is all on the north end, which would be, like some blocks, well, maybe half a mile or so from downtown Chicago. And there was a place called La Canasta. Oh my God. Oh, so that, I recommend there. And there's so many just wonderful clubs. The W's have on their top levels, they have the best dance clubs and stuff. So I got to learn a lot. It's been a while since I've been there, so I'm sure there are more restaurants, but those that I named, they're staples. They've been there forever. So
Nice
oh,
recommendations.
oh yeah, and a hot dog. You got to get a Chicago style hot dog, and you also got to get an Italian beef dipped in au jus. It's not the same if you don't dip that sucker. And there's a place called Portillo, and it's down in it. Get you a good old hot dog, girl, and get the Chicago style, and then an Italian beef. Those are kind of fast foody, but they're the best.
So good. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
I know. Me too. Me too.
Kym, do you have any guilty pleasures?
Guilty pleasures. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I said I never feel guilty about them. I just like them with no shame.
Well, see, let me put it that way then. Yeah, I like them with no shame. Some people would say I have guilty pleasures, but I love a good handbag. So I have probably every designer, and it wasn't even so much about being able to floss and go, look what I got. I just loved them.
Yeah.
And shoes.
Nice.
A good pair of, those I would say are my true guilty pleasures, but I don't feel guilty about it at all.
Nice.
Yeah.
You never have enough of them. Never.
Never. And I told my daughter and my niece, they're gonna get them when I die anyway. So it's in the will. So I'm buying it for them. In all honesty.
Excellent.
But I've got I got a lot of wear and tear out of them. So yeah.
So now that you're going to be playing right away in the UK, and what other, do you have some music lined up that's going to be released soon, and what goals lie ahead for you?
Yeah, well, they're going to release Love's Got a Hold on Me, and that one is like really one of my favorites. But when I was there 2 years ago, I recorded a couple of other songs. So those will probably be on the EP. And then Thomas, my songwriter, best friend, he wrote a song called Love Take Over. And More Banging Than Turn It Up. It's really, really good. So I think we're gonna release that one first, early part of the year.
Good.
Yeah, I'm looking to, I've got some gigs, so I'm looking to do a little touring, towards the end of the year. And then I kept telling everybody, I'm going to retire. And it wasn't so much retiring singing, because as long as I have my voice, I'm going to, do it. But I said, I just don't want to be one of them old ladies trying to get out on stage with a cane and shit. I just want to be able to, I don't want to, when it's time, if you know what I mean. Right now, I'm physically okay. But I see retiring maybe in the next 2 years. But as I said, I'd still sing, and if a gig came through that was worth it, I'd go out. Yeah.
I hope you keep playing as long as you feel good, and
thank you.
You gotta keep playing as long as you can.
Yeah, you do.
We love to see you. We'd love to see you.
Thank you.
Kids, put down that Tamagotchi and listen for a second. You can follow us on Twitter at NostalgiaDope, Instagram at dope_nostalgia. Visit our website at www.dopenostalgia.com or pick up the phone and call us at 780-851-8785.
This podcast is licensed by SOCAN because we believe that artists should be paid for their work.